All right, let's jump right into it. Paramay Trades here. This is the Commitment of Traders Friday Roundup. Something that we focus on a weekly basis. Friday, the report comes out from bar charts. We update our report here, post it in our channels, and hopefully we can align ourselves, with this indicator to be on the right side of the trade. So that's what we're looking for, market sentiment. So the report is out. Our major report is out. Why am I getting these lines here? Where are these coming from? I have no idea. I have no idea. What are they? What is all this business here? Anyways, getting distracted here. Getting distracted. So let's reset the watch list here. Let's just. I know it's That's your watch list. That's how you mark off your watch list. Yeah, it's something like that. So Friday roundup. This is in the raw here. We haven't edited this since last week, and the numbers are staggering this week. Look at all of the net positions, the net long positions that are being held on the 6-month index. Oof, a lot of movement here. Are we potentially finding a market bottom? Things are starting to shift. Silver getting really bullish here. Platinum getting really bullish. Let's just organize this now. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. All right. Even the Russell picking up. Platinum picking up heavy. Silver picking up heavy. So are oats with commercial interest. Looks like the euro dollar is getting really bullish here. Maybe because it's been selling off tremendously. Let's just take a look at that real quick, because these numbers were not good. Oh, good God. Yeah. So a new low 3 weeks prior was a new low on the 6-month index. So let's just update that. Negative 2,315,935. So that was the low. That was the lowest they've been on the 6-month index. Oh, it was the lowest they've been on the 3-year index too. Lowest the last 3 years, yeah. Negative 2,315,935. So we do this because, we're looking forward now. We're looking forward. Uh, you know, yeah, the numbers look altered on the way back through because the average has changed. But we set a new high here, right? At only net short 492,000. So the highest of the last 6 months, 492, 327. So we're at 100. So we're looking forward here. We want to look forward. We're at extremes. This is extreme for the euro dollar. So I mean, this is definitely going to be on our watch list here. Plenty of other videos on commitment of traders and how it operates and how it works and how we derive the numbers and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into it. So if you follow along regularly, anything over 100, anything over 80 is considered extremely positive, and that's our threshold. That's when we say, hey, now we've got to look at this chart. Or if we see sentiment change dramatically, like in the case of silver here, we've got to look at that. So setting new lows 5 weeks prior, and then last week setting a new high, and then this week setting an even new high. So their positions, their net long positions are much higher than their net short positions, right? On a 6-month index. 3-year index, obviously, a lot more data to work with. A lot more data to work with here. Highest value last 6 months. We've got to update this. 54, 647 here. All right, so we're moving forward here. This is a bullish chart. So we pick up silver here. Let's take a look at silver. That's our LTF, right? Yeah. Oh, look at my daily. Ooh, that's really nice. 6-month index, commercial interest, really positive for the last 1, 2, 3 weeks, right? Relatively low or diminishing open interest. Bulls like to see that down here. WPR in the oversold range, and market sentiment is really low or diminishing. So this was a dramatic sell-off. Very dramatic. And this happened quickly. We broke through all kinds of ranges here to work with. And then now we've got this nice pivot working for us. Here's your low. You got higher lows on each side. That's a nice swing pivot. Where's this thing going now? I would love to be aligned on the right side of the trade with this one. I'll tell you that. Boy, that looks good. Boy, if these guys, if they want to be on the right side of the trade, you want to be on the right side of the trade with them. And there's your range. So we've already broken that low, and then found some price action here. Wow, down at 12, down at 13. And even on the lower time frames here, even on the 4-hour, we're looking for a nice higher low here, and that's a nice swing pivot. Get up over that range and start finding some support. I mean, do we think that it's going to continue to go down here? I don't think so. It could, very well could. We'll see where this market's going. I would pay attention to silver, absolutely, just based off the commitment of traders report. Because it looks like it's starting to shift. It looks like a lot of the market's starting to shift. Ultra shift in here. We've got we're at extremes here on the euro dollar, on live cattle. We just did this video on live cattle. I mean, this is... Check out the video on live cattle. I'm not going to drill down into it. We want to make this nice and quick. Oats, something to look at. Again, silver, something to look at here. The metals, platinum, something to look at. Absolutely. Take a look at gold. Well, there's a lot of selling off this week with gold. They had a very down week. It's just going to start the rebound now. Quite possible it starts to rebound. We were looking at, where's our Canadian dollar? Ooh, yeah, huh? We're getting really bullish on that. But you got to watch the U.S. dollar index too. Canadian, whew. I mean, they set a new high last week, and they're setting an even newer high this week, even higher high. We're in positive territory for the first time in the 6-month index in a long time. Is that worth a look here? I would say so. Nice rebound. Nice rebound. So did we update this? Yeah, we did. 133. Yeah, the color's a little skewed, but they've been getting positive for some time now. So here's your 80 mark. So 1, 2, 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3 weeks. And lo and behold, what's this? This is a nice swing pivot, right? Failed to drive this lower, and this traded up well above this high. Look at that nice doji looking candle, right? This looks good. This looks good. Diminishing or relatively low open interest, WPR oversold, market sentiment's really low. This is the time to get into the market. I mean, it would be foolish, I think, to not capitalize on this just heinous fucking sell-off. Pardon my language. This was a nice pivot. You want to align yourself with on the right side of the trade here. I would check your lower time frames. 15 minutes, one of my favorite. I love just the look of being able to see where there is support and resistance. Like this. This area looks good. Look at these clusters of areas to decide where you're going to be a buyer or seller. And even in the lower time frame, here it was. Here is your swing pivot. You got a low, you got higher lows on each side. Your higher low, you got your low low. You got your higher low, right? That's a nice pivot. That's nice. That's real nice. That works. That's the market's way of saying I feel that this wants to go the other direction. So where were you, a buyer here on the Canadian dollar, where was, your retest? Where's your technical test? I think is right off of this descending high pattern. Let's go with a different color so that this isn't so. Yeah, and there you are. Right? So it broke down a little bit here. Broke down a little. But you see this swing pivot and you go, oh, okay. I would love to be on the right side of the trade here. I think this is the market's way of telling me I would like to go up. We didn't get anywhere near that. Where would we have? This small cluster and this pivot here. Is that your technical test? It doesn't look like much, but it did bounce off that. We lost it, and that's where it finally found support. I can't say for certain, what's the the hard technical test here. No regard for it. I mean, we come up, we touch it just briefly and break through. We lose it, gain it. Trying to find support there. I mean, those 4 or 5 candles sitting right on top of the 25. What do we got? 25 EMA here on the 15-minute. That's not. Well, that's why it looks weird. We like the 25 EMA on the 5-minute, but we like the 8 EMA on the 15-minute because it's just reverse engineering, right? Okay, that looks better. That makes a little bit more sense, right? Why this pivot is important, I have no idea, but we did not push lower. Well, that's the important part too. Here's your back testing, right? So we have a nice cluster around this line, and then we get the EMA pressure coming down. Bulls could not get back up over that. Rejected and came back down. Try to find an area of support here. What's important? What's important to the market? What areas were important to the market? This cluster doesn't look like much. We swing high, we pivot from here, and then, there's your cluster too, right? So we've got a couple of different areas of confluence. We've got this ascending higher low pattern where there's a cluster that started to trade around. And we've got this pivot from the impulse up into this, short-term range that we were playing with. And this seemed important for, bulls and bears to fight over here. So, what do we got? So now we are in an area of a challenging area for bulls. Where do you want to go with this? Right now, this chart is in favor of the bulls, but what's the response next week going to be? We'll do a video on Canadian dollar. I'm getting sidetracked here. I have a tendency of doing that. But isn't that very interesting, right? that this is where the fight stopped at the end of the week. Wasn't a tremendous amount of selling going on here either. So we're gonna get some continuation. You come down, and we get a nice squeeze coming up in through here. So we get this EMA moving up, and we get a nice build up before a break, before we can come up and break this this trend line, this ascending higher low pattern. That's something to look out for. Definitely. Especially with, oh boy, I got to get the charts set up here. The different charts, so we don't have this overlay. What's this, 3? Yeah. There we go. So with these charts, I like a clean look across 3 different charts. So, you know, your higher time frames, your weekly and your daily. I like to do your, you know, your 4-hour. 4-hour chart, something like that. Not that I pay an incredible amount of time to, you know, the 4-hour chart. I really like the 15 and lower time frame chart as an intraday here. But if you're if you're looking for swing trades here, COT is perfect for you. COT is perfect. This looks like a longer term move. If this is going to go. Come up and retest some of these levels that it couldn't hold. And this is, in terms of comms, this is bullish. And if you remember on the Euro FX, I think these guys got a head start, to tell you the truth. I think they knew exactly where the market was going, but oh, and here we are again here, right? So bear with me. You're like, why don't you get your chart set up? Oh, there it is. Why don't you get your chart set up before you start doing this? Well, there's a lot of movement going on. So, Euro FX here, when they got bullish on this, on the 3-year index and a 6-month index, well, the rest is history, right? The rest was history here. WPR oversold, market sentiment's kind of, you know, moving down, and this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 weeks of getting ready to take this the other way, and then we broke in here over extreme territory, over the 80% with commercial interest. Well, the last 4 weeks have been a pretty telltale sign with where comms were on this, and you notice the dollar index and what it did and whatnot, but it gave up everything. All the gains, goodbye. All that bullishness, not so bullish anymore. Comms knew this too. We should have been really hip to this right about here, when we broke below 20%. I mean, this is really low right now because we haven't updated the numbers, but this will show 0 once we do. But we knew what was going on back here, right? So did they. We knew this was going to sell off. Dollar index climbing, we knew where this was going. And I'm going to tell you, I think bulls knew where this was going too. I think commercials knew exactly where this was going, because they knew it back here, and they knew it in here. And that's just about the bottom, folks. Yeah, this broke up, and everybody was surprised at the movement. But tell me why commercial interest was not. They were not shocked by this 2 weeks ago. They were in extreme positive territory 2 weeks ago. They were in extreme positive territory back here. And look at the price action that we got. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. I don't know why you would want to use any other leading indicator in the market other than what commercials are doing. Do they get it right all the time? I would say no. But you start looking at a chart based on their movement, and you go, oh, comms are getting bullish. Why? Because the index is down at 94, right? And they notice good value, low value. And they pegged it here. I pegged it really, really, really well. In the last year, the lowest was what, 95 something, right? So this is, we're already in bullish territory. And we've been getting a lot of this. We've been watching this right along. How high can she go? Is this thing topping out yet, or what? We got a pivot here. We're gonna pivot. We're gonna get high. This looks. I mean, that looks like it. You could definitely plead the case here that this might turn the other way. CoT Report Friday Roundup. Johnny, get to it, baby. Let's go. Let's go. There's plenty more to look at. Right? Canadian dollar US index. Watch it. Watch it. Palladium. I don't think I put that in the indicator yet, but look how bullish that is. Another high, another net long high here. Euro FX. Yeah, we just looked at that, right? No big surprise. Will it turn? Watch the dollar index. I would. Lean hogs, haven't looked at it. Look like they're holding pretty well here. Oh, they have been for some time. Hard to tell. Maybe we dive into that chart later. Nothing I want to look at right now, though. Soybean meal. Well, it's a follow-up to last week and the week before and the week prior. We know what ZM is doing, but they set a new low. They're really killing this chart. And the only way you can tell, you say, well, does this indicator work or it doesn't work, or, I don't know. Right? We got that right here. We got that right. Not very optimistic here this week, but did they get burned on soybean meal? Oh, yeah, over and over again here. I don't know if you guys got that problem too. Open interest seems to do the same thing almost every single time. Holy heck. Is this right? On the daily? Is that right? Good Lord. Well, they're holding short right up here. They're holding short. Oh boy, did they get burned. It really seems like they got burned on this chart. If these numbers are right, if I'm looking at the right chart here, this thing's soaring, and they're getting burned on the 6-month index. Or maybe on the 3-year with the 6-month. WPR in the oversold range. Market sentiment was rising here. Market sentiment was extremely low back here. Boy, I took my eyes off this chart. I have not been paying attention to soybean meal. Apologies, folks. The numbers did not look great, and it turned the other way anyway. We gotta look at the news on the fundamentals on this. I wonder why this turned like this. Has something to do with the China trade deal? Quite possible. Getting out of soy because I don't know. Hello. Wow, this chart moved. I guess there's just too much going on. I just did not notice what was going on with soybean meal. I guess we're gonna have to do a chart on it. Oh, that's corn, right? Yeah, it's EM now. Okay, so we'll watch our corn too here. They're getting really bullish on that. Let's see. What's this chart look like? 6-month index looks good. That's a pretty nice pivot right there too. WPR oversold, market sentiment movement down. Open interest looks like it's diminishing a little bit. This, could this cut up too? I'll wait for a safe entry. Try to do one on corn as well. I'll do a couple of charts on Discord. So jump in on the Discord. Should be located in the description, and leave a comment in the video section in the YouTube channel if it's not working properly. I've created a couple of different invites, and some of them don't expire, and some of them do. And I think all the videos have a permanent link to read access to the Discord channels where I post all the charts and I go over stuff, journal style. This is just stuff that I try to keep up with every day. So I'm sharing it with you, trying to be as transparent as possible. Something I'm not very used to, but quickly through the report. Feeder cattle, I think, closed up this week too. Feeder cattle looked good. So did live cattle. Yeah, I mean, comms are getting bullish here. Looks good. Coming down as 10-year notes, no big surprise there. The yield's getting pretty messed with. Gas finally coming down off their bullishness. And maybe they're giving up on the chart. I have no idea. I haven't looked at natural gas in a while because just when I peek at the watch list, I know it's at 1.5. If you're an ultra bear on gas, this thing's got to turn around at some point, right? Maybe it doesn't. I think they're having the worst seasonal year that they've had in gas in a very long. Well, there's been worse. We were looking forward to a market rally this time of year. We never got it. Very subtle, rally. One of my favorite authors, Larry Williams, was of the same mind that February, March was a time for a rally in natural gas. But I had to argue the point that on this seasonal chart, I just didn't see it. Not until later. Not until later in the year. Right when it gets into start turning into fall here. And then that's what I would be a buyer. But I'm not playing natural gas like I was, back in September. Not with this chart. There's way better charts to play than this one. Way better charts. And I'm not going anywhere near that one. So S&P, I think we're going to have to do a video on this one. Where we think that the S&P is going. Because we did a nice weekly chart here. And you can see where comms are on the S&P. They're hard to figure out what was going on up in here. I was pretty confused at this jump here and the CoT index. It was a tough chart, but yeah. I mean, there's a lot of there's this huge cluster right here that I just don't think that this is going to get through. There's got to be a bounce coming off in here. Yeah, we got this nice higher low, trend line working for us, but I don't hold a lot of stock in ascending higher low trend lines. Not nearly as much as I do with the cluster of volume that's going on in here. You can even turn this on, right? So we've got, if you, I don't have it on this chart either. Good Lord, I gotta get this all figured out here. Volume profile. Yeah. So it's not gonna have my settings either. So let's just put it on there, just for the heck of it. Oh gosh, I can't even see it. It's angry. There it is. So, I mean, there it is, right? So, minimal, very low market acceptance in this area. So we need to come and test it. But I just don't think that you get through this large cluster without a fight. Without a mean fight. There's got to be a mean bounce coming here. There's got to be. And we didn't need volume profile to tell us that this is what was going on in here. We're like, yeah, well, there. I mean, there it is. There's this huge cluster, and then there's your volume profile. So here's the high value range, right? High value. Let's see if I got that right. Let's see, point control, VA high. So is that your value area high? Yeah. And your value area low is, just put it in red, right? So there it is. It's in red. It's down there somewhere. No, it doesn't show. No, it's not showing. Right. So there's your high value area. Right up in here. That's where I think it's going. That's where I think I might be looking to be a buyer to see if this thing decides to retrace a little bit, correct this massive sell-off that has been the worst, probably the worst. Less than how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's less than a month. It's probably the worst month. The last bear market was what? Here's the top. 19, 20, 21. Bottomed out in 2002. We did that in a month. This is bad, folks. This is really bad. This is fear at its best. Or at its worst. Either way. We'll do another video on S&P. And we really got to get over on the NASDAQ and the Dow because it's good money there. There's really good money there, and we haven't really gotten into it. So Dow Jones. We didn't touch on that, but sorry that we missed it. They're starting to get optimistic here. Why is the Dow looking a lot better? Is this like reverse engineering here? RTY, so Russell goes first. It was one of the leading indicators that the small caps went first, and then maybe the mid and the large. And now are we turning around here? These deep pockets here. Deep pockets think that quite possibly this is the end of the line, maybe for the Dow. We haven't looked at the chart though. All right, I'm going here. Here's Dow Jones, right? Same area. How convenient. How convenient. And are they thinking the same thing that we should be thinking right now? That on this chart, this is a very large node, a very large cluster of volume profile. And are we going to get some kind of movement on the Dow in the next week or two? I'll be looking for next week. If we get any lower here and we start getting into this cluster, I think this thing could correct a little bit. This has been one of the quickest bear markets. How bad can it get? I don't know. But I mean, it took us almost a year and a half to bottom before. And there's no pivot in sight. But you got to get through this cluster first. And then here's this cluster down here. So this is where the money's going to be made, I believe. Okay. I think this is going to just about wrap it up for the Friday roundup. We've got a lot of other videos to do. I'm going to post this in Discord. I don't do notes very much. There's plenty of money to be had in there, plenty of money to be made in there as well. CL, crude oil, not looking great right now. We know that from looking at the chart, and comms are not too optimistic about it either, at least in the 6-month index. Right. So if we just look at where the index is right now, you can see at the top of the list, if you're a bull, these are the ones you want to look at. Getting bearish if we're in extreme territory. Anything under 20, if you're an ultra bear here, is anything on the bottom of this list. British pound hit for us, so we've been out of that. We haven't looked back at that chart. Where soybean meal is right now, with the pump that it's had, and comms are holding a negative outlook on it. So is that chart going to turn around? Is the S&P going to continue to decline? Look at those clusters. Look at those volume clusters. Look at those areas to trade. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, well, the market thinks that Apple is going to go down to $200. And I said, that's great. I hope it does for people who are watching Apple. If you get the opportunity to get Apple down there, there's got to be a buyer at 200. But I said you got to get through 216 first. There's this little cluster of information going on right up in here. You got to come down and get through 216 first, I think. You'd really like to not see it go that much lower, I don't think. I just don't think that you want to see it any lower than that. Oh, you're a buyer? Hell yeah. Fundamentally, Apple hasn't changed. At least the way I'm looking at it. It still a great company, right? You come down, break this trend line, break 213 or something like that, and then get into this, this area. Not a lot of volume profile going on up there. It seems like people bought a lot lower at $13. Seems like most of the accumulation happened down here. So it would appear. It went up. I'm going to be hopeful that Apple's going to go to 200. Whoa, I don't know about that. I really don't. Get through here and then we'll talk about it. I don't know. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I think $200 is optimistic. It's a nice psychological number, $200, but just you look at this range and you say, oh, it could turn around from here, but why? Watch the rest of the market. See what the hell is going on with this whole virus business. And I don't want to talk about the virus right now. I really don't, because it really irks me. The way that it's been handled in the news and the major news outlets, and I just... ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But plenty of money to be made on the charts. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for tuning in to a Commitment of Traders Friday Roundup. This is Paramay Trades. This is Paramay's Trade Journal. This is my speculating journal, my personal journal, my transparent journal that I've invited the public to... I haven't invited the public to... well, sharing it with the public. That's what it... I'm just sharing it with you guys. Discord channel is listed in the description, so stop by if you want. Talk about the charts. Be kind, be gentle, though. Being transparent is not easy for everybody in the world to do. And if they're doing it, then, be kind. Be kind. Ask questions. Don't be rude. Don't be rude like the rest of the world. Like the rest of the YouTubers out there. Be professional. Be a grown-up. Anyways. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you find yourself on the profitable side of the trade, and we'll see you again on the next video.